Hi, I'm Vikram Pratap Singh, the moderator for Extra Insights weekly debate podcast, Rebuttal. This week we wanted to debate on crimes against women in India, but realized that there actually is no debate on the matter. The situation is bad and only gets worse. So we decided to offer our platform to one of our previous participants at Rebuttal to put forth her views, both for and against, on whether feminism is working in India. Here's what she said.
Hello, my name is Sharanya Chaturvedi. So, for a very, very long time, this world that has evolved and moved forward on two shoulders has ignored one of them so much so that women's opinions were not considered even in important matters such as elections. Now, we have come a long way since then. It is 2020, and speaking about India, in 1950s the women literacy rate was 8.6%, and today this decade it stands somewhere around 67 to 70%. Now, from a place where people in this country could not even imagine a woman going out and having a career or earning money, to a point wherein 51% of the small and medium enterprises workforce are women, to 89% of the labor force are women, and 27% of the corporate workforce are women. And all of this progression and all of this step forward, we owe it all to the idea and to the ambition that is feminism. This highly controversial F word simply recognizes the equality of a man and a woman and calls for a positive action for change. Now, when you ask me such a question, such as, is feminism working? All those 14-year-old girls who are sitting in upper primary classes today in rural India can answer that question for you. All those women who are now running their businesses and running their houses because of the help that they've gotten from the government because of feminism are going to answer that question for you. All those 87% women who now have a say in the household decisions can answer that question for you. Now, feminism essentially gives a platform and a voice to all those problems that are being caused by patriarchy and misogyny on both women and men. The reason why feminism is so essential today and the reason why it is causing a change is because it extends a formal invite to correct the misdoings on both sides. It is feminism today that says, yes, I can put on a bindi on my forehead, have my baby in one arm, and have a mic on the other and speak about international politics. And yes, you can lift 150 pounds with one hand, with one arm, and have your baby in the other, and still cry when you are hurt. The idea that feminism is propagating is to dissociate actions, normal human behavior with genders, and get rid of this toxic machismo idea that the society has propagated on men, that they have to control women and thus women have to be controlled. Now, when the opposition speaks about and complains about all the affirmative actions, all the laws that are just for women, all the seats that are just for women, and all the scholarships that are for women, and etc., etc., you must understand that biological factors that should not be a constraint in the amount of opportunities you have is the reason for oppression of women. And women today are here, men are here, and for us to bring them up to here, we need to give them a ladder to climb on, and that ladder is all the affirmative action that is a direct consequence of the discourse started by feminism. And to them, I say, I think it's Virginia Woolf who said this very beautifully, that the story of men's opposition to female emancipation is perhaps far more interesting than the story of that emancipation itself. And this, despite of all these achievements that I've said, despite of majority of workforce in SMEs being women, there is and majority of labor force being women, there is a pay gap of 27 to 50% for the same work for women. And we still have crimes reported against women every 3 minutes in this nation. So, which just goes on to tell you how much more work that we have to do, that is left to be done. There is so much of work that both of us have to do. There are so much of things we have to discuss on, and there is so much of progression that we have to bring about in the society. And that can only happen when we start talking about the problems and when we have a podium to talk about those problems, and feminism gives that to you. All these about, in conclusion, about feminism working today, when there are such laws for women, that there are schemes that are trying to uplift women and give them their voice, trying to get them on their 2 feet, when the corporate and the private sectors are also showing gender sensitivity and releasing schemes and helping women to come out uh, of the stereotype of just making rotis and having babies, to actually having a career and getting the best of both worlds. We owe it all to feminism, and that is the basic reason why feminism is working. So, moving on to the opposition, when I speak for the opposition, obviously I don't mean to say no, women are only supposed to stay in the four walls of their house and make rotis and babies. That's not what I'm trying to say. I agree to the fact that the suffragette and all these positive changes, like I mentioned, that has come to the society is a direct achievement of feminism. But you have to understand that in 2020, the actual definition of it and what is being practiced and what people in the society are seeing is different. It's different. Amazing that we have special laws and unbailable punishments for crime against women, but you have to also see that these laws are being abused and misused by individuals for their personal gain. And it pains me to say that, but the numbers are so much that it is the Women Commission Delhi that stated that from 2013 April to 2014 July, 53.2% of the reported rape cases were false. These are huge numbers. So people in the society are being wronged in the name of feminism. At the same time, when there are individuals and groups of people who are ignoring all of this and coming up with more hysterical demands, such as every person who has been accused of a crime against women must be executed immediately, etc., etc., all these are causing a rundown of the word and thus the idea itself. Because since there is no discourse on the problems that are being faced because of misuse, because of pseudo feminism, because of misandry, since all these problems are not addressed and there's no solution on the table, people who suffer from them, who are suffering, are condemning the word and hence the idea itself. And that is why feminist movement today is just becoming a loud banter on social media. I mean, 405861. No, that's not the first 6 digits of my phone number. That is the reported cases in 2019 of crimes against women in India, which is a 7.3% jump from 2018. And in that very same year, if you go on Twitter or you go on Facebook and you see, then the number of discussions, number of posts, number of videos on feminism have increased exponentially. From a discussion that led to an achievement, that led to an output, today feminism is just about hashtags on social media and people pouncing on a 16-year-old girl for the abuse of the very laws. So this is where feminism today stops working. It is because of the division of the idea, and what is happening today is where feminism stops working. I agree that the idea is not misandry. the idea is not to use the law and use social etiquettes and use conversations as per one's convenience. That is not the idea, that is not the ambition, but it is a direct consequence of it. And we have to recognize that, and we have to come forward with a solution. Otherwise, it's going to cost us all the groundwork that we've already laid. Because of the simple reason that there are a vast number of people in the society that still believe in male supremacy, that still want to have control over one half of the population, and there are still believers in patriarchy and believers in chauvinism and male supremacy. And all these laws that we have fought for, this gives us power to keep all these supremacists in check. And to quote Stan Lee, with great power comes great responsibility. We have to not shy away with the responsibility that comes with that, and the idea that we have to keep people in check. Because at the end of the day, anything like, we have had this conversation about alcohol, we have had this conversation about social media. This conversation has been about everything, that everything is used and misused at the same time. You have to bring in checks and balances to prevent the misuse, which we lack today. And because of this, 50% of the population has now started to hate this word so much that if you walk into a room with 100 millennials, 50 of them are not going to say they are feminists, because they perceive, the society today is starting to perceive feminism as man-hating and transferring of power from men to women, whereas we initially want equality. And there is a lot of work to be done. We are still at 0.54 of gender inequality index, which means we top the list of gender equality from bottom. So, and there are still people in rural India who don't know, who don't understand that their daughters deserve the same rights and the same opportunities as their sons. And it is on us urban people who are having this discussion, who are using social media, that we have to come out of hating on everything and bashing on men and go forward, make the rural India know about this, make them aware about this, and come up with even more schemes, even more welfare programs, even more initiatives to help them out. And for us to do all of this, for this discourse and this movement to go on and further become a more consolidated revolution, we have to stop snatching seats in buses in the name of feminism. Thank you. I rest my case.
While Sharanya rests her case, the turmoil inside her is still ongoing, as it is with majority of women in our country. So these beautiful women from different walks of life have various questions that they want to ask to this country, to this society, and answers to which we do not have yet. But that shouldn't stop us from asking them, right? Let's get started. The first question is, when is the narrative going to change from women to men? Why should a woman have to choose between freedom and safety when these are basic rights and they should be served irrespective of one's gender? Will women ever be as safe as men after midnight? How many more such horrors will it take for us to realize that we're stuck in a loop? When will we as a society really make efforts to restructure rather than just outrage? How can the fear of safety shift from women to the men who even think of violating a woman's dignity? Why is it that even though I am built to be vocal about everything, when people look at my thighs while I'm wearing shorts, I want to stop wearing shorts and not say anything to them? Why are under 18 rape pups still treated as juvenile? Does crime becomes less criminal if the rapist and or victim is under 18? Why can't self-defense become mandatory for girls in schools? When will sex education be taught the way it should be in schools? When will the socializing agents take responsibility of uprooting toxic masculinity, a cause of the rape culture? When will the conviction rate go up? Yeah, basic question. When will the conviction rate go up? Will it always take a protest to, get justice? When so-called leaders themselves believe in victim blaming, enough so to post it on social media, can we truly expect safety as a birthright? Why can't we stop having feminism and talk about human safety more often, than gender-based safety and dignity for unbiased thought processes? The questions are too many and the answers are unavailable. But again, that shouldn't stop us from asking these questions, right? If you have such questions, please do post them in the comment section below. Let us not stop this time till the time we actually get answers. If you know people who can help us in this struggle, influential people who are onto the same path, do not forget to tag them. Let's take this forward, raise the right questions, and get answers to them this time. Thank you so much for watching.